Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to round 2, race 2 of the Australian NASCAR eSeries. Doing the trucks at Homestead Miami Speedway tonight. Presenting with me tonight is Dean. He's new to the broadcast, so let's all give him a nice warm welcome. My name's Aaron Dorman. I normally race in the 253 Chevy truck, but tonight in the broadcast booth, so we're looking forward to it. So we're in the start of qualifying at the moment. We've got Brad Newman up the front on a 32.682. So good lap for him. And it's a pretty tight field up the front with 7 cars in the 32s.
Yes, good evening, welcome everybody. I'm excited to be a part of the Nitro Network, the Nitro Racing Network, of course, for these playoffs, as you'd mentioned. So this is going to be very, very, very exciting. And as you know, the playoffs, how far in, my friend there, Aaron? It's been so far with everything else. Just getting it all.
We're down to the round of 8.
Right. Okay. Fantastic.
So we have one car locked into the round of 4. I believe it is. I'm drawing a blank right now.
We don't have any graphics to show you for, unfortunately, but we can show you currently the schedule. And as you can see, we are here at Homestead, Miami. Then we have Martinsville, and then the championship at the Phoenix Speedway, which would be fantastic. On Friday, November the 8th, of course, sign-ups will be for your Schedule 3, so get it all in for the 2025. There's also other racing that we have here as well, too, for the Australian NASCAR series. I think at the moment, my friend, that is qualifying done and dusted. Short and sweet here. I've just found when I joined this league and be a part of this broadcasting, I'm like, wow, you guys just like 5-minute warm-up there, quick qualifying, and bang, another little warm-up, and you're straight into the race. That's, well, a warm-up now, and then you're straight into the race. No messing around here in Australia, is it?
The qualifying can be quite tight. We let the top 40 go through, so if you're in the playoffs or in the hunt of the playoff picture, you are automatically through, which is only a maximum of 20 cars, and then the second half of the field, the second 20, have to qualify their way in if there's more than a 40-car grid. So it's quite competitive, quite tight, keeps the driving to a high standard, and these races are always a lot of fun to be a part of. And I believe on the graphic, Matt Danson is the driver locked in for the Championship 4.
All right. Yeah, come next week, I'll give you a nice little update on the graphics as well, too, for drivers that are locked in. We'll highlight those drivers. Didn't have enough time, unfortunately, for this Friday, but we'll have a little fancy graphics then with the tower. It'll give us a little indication of what drivers are locked in, what drivers are on the bubble, and what other drivers are just driving for fun. Because you can, obviously, in the playoffs. You can see the ticker at the bottom. Australian NASCAR eSeries announces Daytona 500 for the February the 2nd, 2025. That'll be the start of the series on that one. So sign up and be a part of this fantastic network. As Barney the Flagman's going to watch all these drivers do some practice sessions and bend it out of turn 4. Straight in front of Barney right there. That's the 152 machine, but that's what a practice is all about. Get those spins and get those door bangings out of your system. Right, mate? Because, you know, when it comes to race time, you don't want to have too many cautions. And I was here earlier for a series this week at this speedway. What do you think about the Miami Homestead? Do you like this track or not?
This is actually where I cut my teeth into NASCAR racing. About 12 months ago, when we were racing here in the trucks, I purchased a track on iRacing, and I actually really enjoyed it. So I've made a pretty hard transition from mostly road racing into NASCAR series. My team still gives me grief about that, but they're coming around. They're starting to do more and more NASCAR.
Oh, excellent. I can't wait to get an idea of some of these liveries as well, too, as you just see some of the drivers splitting. Just so I can test the Australian NASCAR eSeries logo there that's working, thankfully, for our replay system, which we should have some of that here this evening. We will get the grid for you very, very soon as they finish up with their warm-up. And welcome everybody in the chat. Say hello. But I will read the chat. We're very interactive here. I certainly am a very interactive broadcaster, just to let you know, Aaron. So I love it when everybody gets out there in the chat. This is not television, so it's two-way. We do communicate back. I like your opinion about who you're supporting. A lot of the times that I was doing a series earlier today, You got the wives and the girlfriends, even the family pets just chime in, don't they? Or siblings as well too, and they get behind and watch their friends and family and stuff, and that's quite fun, I think. So, give us a shout out.
Once my team works out I'm in here, we'll probably hear from them.
Oh yes, excellent. So once again, there's that schedule. And how's that looking for you too as a racing driver? This is one thing, just to let everybody know, I do not race. I own just about everything on iRacing. Spent thousands of dollars on all that sort of stuff. Don't have a racing rig. Never done a single lap on any car anywhere on iRacing, okay? So I just stick to the booth, and I enjoy just doing the broadcast and commentary. But to you, my friend, I know that you do race, Aaron. Like, what do you reckon? Martinsville? Short track racing? Phoenix? Sorry?
Martinsville is tough. Martinsville is tough. It's just short track, a lot of cars in, not a lot of space. It's about a third of the size of this racetrack.
Yeah.
So,
and punishing on tyres.
It is, and just chaos. Just people making mistakes, going in too deep. Phoenix, it's a lot faster. It's a little bit bigger. It's a 1 mile track, but still short track racing. You can take the dog leg there, which has its own dramas of rejoining the field. It's a whole lot of fun. I quite enjoy Phoenix too.
Yeah, actually, believe it or not, a lot of racing series and NASCAR racing series that I do produce for, a lot of them do wrap their series up in Phoenix as well. Either this track as well, Homestead, Miami, sometimes, and Phoenix, that they wrap the series up in for the finals. Of course, then nobody barely does it in Daytona or Talladega. You keep those for usually the starting races, don't you? Those big super speedway tracks are always a lot of fun. As the warm-up session's over, my friend, and I'm going to give you the opportunity once again of going over who's going to have the best grid positions for our race tonight.
All right, so taking your pole position will be Brad Newman. Second place, Andrew Sharp. Third place, Alan Dawson. Is that right? Yep.
Yes, sir.
Then Jason Holdsworth. Fourth place, Brandon Griffith. Lachlan Acugio. Matthew Raymond. Angus Lawford. Stephen Williams and Ruben Phelps. That rounds out your top 10. Then back there, we got Shane Bowen, John Bradshaw, David Lawler, Carl Withy, Marty Mitchell, Evan Tiora. Well, I believe we call him ET. Matt Danson, Tim Blundell, and Brian Blundell.
Are they related, the Blundells?
Yep, they're brothers, I believe.
Okay, lovely. All right, chat, be quiet out there too, please. Don't bite. We don't bite. I don't. Aaron might bite, but I don't bite. So give us a. Those are the rest of the drivers that we didn't display on that grid format there because they haven't set a time, as you'd mentioned. So the Blundell partners didn't. You are not racing, my friend. So you're in. As you can see yourself, Aaron Dorman, P20th, Jason Connolly, and Brad Wright. Is there a live? Do we have a live race control this evening, my friend?
No, we normally run off the iRacing.
Okay.
Incident count. I believe next season we're going to look at changing that, but we'll have to see what we can achieve in the off season.
Yep. Not a problem. It doesn't look like Alan is going to be starting the race, nor yourself, so we can keep our... we have 20 drivers on the grid, so we'll have little splits on our timing tower up there. As you can see, the Ford, it's going to be only one Ford, and that's Brian out on the track. The rest of it's Toyotas and Chevys. Now, tricky cold tires, my friend, isn't it, to start the race off? So you just got to get that groove in here in Miami, and then get the cars up the temperature. We're going to go green flag racing, my friend. You want to call this first of the playoffs, round 2?
Green flag.
I can do that. If I can get to the first car, there we go. The outside lane's got a good jump, but Brad Newman on the inside takes the lead there. So, takes the lead from Andrew Sharp. And pulled a pretty good gap. It's turn 3 that normally the cold tyres catch you out. You come into a bit hot, you think you're all good. So at the moment, Brad Newman's holding it fantastic for Lobbs Racing there. Everyone's single file in behind him.
Yeah, absolutely. We got the North American Invader up here from Andrew Sharp. He's holding off that P2 position. You'd have to give it to the Chooch there, Brenton Griffith. He's gained a couple of places, so he got a good start. He's under a bit of pressure there from Jason Holdsworth. And that's the battle for P3, P4 at the moment. No other big gains. Well, Matt Danson actually back at P10. He's gained 7 places up there, so he got a good launch and start. So there you have it at the moment with our 20 stacked Gladiator grid here in Miami. Look at those weather conditions too, my friend. See how that's going to pan out this evening. 4 mile per hour winds, so I'm going to keep it in miles per hour, and 104 degree Fahrenheit, because, you know, we are over here in the States. That's pretty hot for the track temperature as well.
Very tight around the 10th position up to about 15th. So 2x2, just fighting hard to get those that grid position right now.
Good challenge for P3 at the moment too. I'm just admiring those liveries. Looks like Jason's got the nose ahead in the 11 on Branton Griffith. And Jason just at the fastest lap too.
Oh, so hang on, there's just been a bit of a shove.
Yeah, it looks like the 137 is just dropping in a little bit, isn't it, David Lawler? So thankfully, it hasn't caused a caution, but there was a little bit of a moment. I won't be able to get a replay specifically of that, my friend, but wish comes to
just copped a little bit of a bad bump from the 38.
Good luck to the grid. Let's get it. And that's from Oscons, BK Oscon or something like that in the chat. Sorry if I absolutely butchered that one. So David's gone into pit road from that moment, so I'm not quite sure if he got any damage, but he is electing to go down there. And there's your Hornet's Nest right here from the battle of P8 so far down. We still have a nice little brew of a battle up just up the road there. That's Matt Danson, who's up 10 places, number 30 machine. Make that 11. Wow, that number 30 machine has got the extra overdrive, and job done on Ruben Phillips. Good job. So expect Matty to start.
The problem with that is you might use your tyres a little bit too hard, a little bit too early, and that can come back to bite you a little bit later in the stint.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it? So, he's going to hug the inside apron like your favourite grandma and use as much of the track as exit as possible. He's keeping it away from the fence on the exit there. So smooth in, smooth out. Take care of those tyres. We all know they're the most important things that are attached to your car, actually. No matter how good you are as a racing driver, if you scrub the grip out of those tyres, as you can see, the 152 really pushing it, isn't it? As he gets out to the Geico restart zone, straight up close to the fence there, almost scrapes it, keeps the paint intact. And that's Angus, actually, that we're looking at there for 152. In the lead still, Brad Newman. Andrew Sharp keeping him at bay there, and then Jason Holdsworth is starting to just crawl them in there for the top 10. Then you've got about a second and change back to Brandon and Angus. Just to ask you as well too, Aaron, see, relatively new. Any stage breaks?
No stage breaks in this. So if we get green flag, that really throws in strategy.
Wow.
So you'll see a lot of these guys will try and go to the end of the fuel stint, which I'm not 100% sure what the fuel stint is in these cars at the moment. Hoping for a caution, because if you pit early and get stuck behind a few lap cars and a caution comes out, you're stuck a lap down. So most people tend to elect to go long.
Yeah, you want to go as much as possible because you don't have those stage breaks, as you said, so you'll be relying on a caution, which less chances of a caution if they do start spreading out the field, because we do have a grid of just 20 Gladiators this evening, because if you have your stacked grid of usually 40 or so, you would probably start to be expecting some wrecks at this point. I'm loving the shield, the livery there of Andrew Sharp there, like that chrome. I mean, obviously, you probably wouldn't have it on a race car in real life because that would just absolutely add so much more weight and heat to the car, but it looks fantastic in the iRacing here. All shimmery. Not that Andrew Sharp could see it, can he? Because he's more focused on what's up the road there inside the car.
You can definitely see him coming when up and in the mirror, though.
You can? Okay. Yeah. It's beautiful conditions for race driving here. As I said, maybe a little bit hot. But it's not foggy. It's good for the visibility for the broadcast. And let us know once again, please, that all our levels, audio levels, and car audios and all that sort of stuff is fine. It's usually set up what I've done for broadcasting prior, but this is a new series that I've created. So.
The track is 41 degrees C, so that's
Right.
about 105 Fahrenheit. So that's going to make them really look after those tyres.
Yeah, exactly. We had it up on the screen there before. 105 Fahrenheit. Yep. Seeing this as an Australian series, I will switch that over, actually, to our metric system. Sorry for anybody in the US that's watching at the moment. You'll have to do the conversions yourself. But we do have a US driver, of course, out there. And we have a Brit, too, of Carl Whitley. Is it Whitney?
Withy, I think.
Whiffy, yes. That's it. Sorry, Carl. That's good to see. You don't get many Brits doing NASCAR driving, do you? Then again, you don't really have many Australians doing NASCAR driving, but we do here for the Australian NASCAR eSeries.
So I'm just looking at the 38 and the 83. They've been side by side, door to door for 3 or 4 laps now. So
Which one, sorry?
Matthew Raymond and Shane Bowen. They've been door to door for a few laps now. The 38's just made his way through and just pulling a little bit of gap.
There you have it. Good call. Oh, and that one's good. More eyes in the sky on this one. Sometimes I'm doing some broadcasts with commentators that don't even have the sim. No, I'm not going to call it a game because it's not a game. It's a racing sim. And so they just have the pictures that I provide them. Further up the road, my friend, we do have a nice battle brewing between P4 and P5. This is Matty on the move again, isn't it? That 30 machine up another place is a scoots on by Brandon. So whatever he has under that bonnet, and once again, you said is at risk of him burning up too much gas and also burning through those tyres when it comes to pit stop time. At which, mind
100%.
you, Aaron, when are you expecting that first? How far can they go? When are you expecting that first round?
I honestly can't tell you how long a fuel stint is in this. Normally about 50 laps in the trucks on 1.5 miles. So, depending how far into they go, maybe lap 40 to lap 50. It's a 128 lap race, so most likely going to use the 2 sets of tyres. We've seen weirdest things happen.
As you can see on the rear there of Andrew Sharp's car, that says, if you get turned, you get upside down. Is that Whitey's Pies?
Whitey's Pies, yep.
Whitey's Pies. Now, is that an American pie or like the pie in a sausage roll you'd have in Australia? Because you don't have them over in the States, mate. Trust me. When I came back after living overseas for some time, the first thing I did was grab a pie and a sausage roll because you don't get that stuff in the Americas.
I'm going to assume it's a bakery or something like that, but in a lot of different leagues and races, I've come across the Whitey's Pies boys.
All right. We'll have to chat to Andrew if he continues on his form and finishes on the podium. He's chased down by Jason. Jason's got something on the side of that truck too. It looks like a picture of something on the 11. He's got a bit of the chrome as well. We'll have to see that one a little. Let's have a look. You can see it there. It's got the nitro. I don't know. He's got a picture of somebody on the side of that car, hasn't he? Looks quite good for the Dickens Cider. And that's Jordan Martin or something like that too, isn't it? For his TikTok and so forth. But that's the 11. Further back at the field, we have Ruben Phillips making a bit of a move. Trying to make a bit of a move on Brandon Chooch Griffith.
Yep, they're side by side. So Ruben Phelps is last season's winner, like champion from the Truck Series. That's why he gets to run the number 1. He's got 2 teammates behind him though, so they're going to try and work together to try and knock him off that position.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see all the teammates will get that information as we progress further. This is more of a dress rehearsal, isn't it, really, because we're going into the end of the playoffs. You get everything all spick and spang and get ready to have the best broadcast of all the Australian NASCAR eSeries on the planet for 2025, my friend, which would be exciting. And so, once again, they're still accepting sign-ups, no doubt, I would imagine there, Aaron, for the new season coming up next year. Bit of
So
pressure. Finally, yep, go ahead.
the league's pretty prolific on I keep fucking get my words correct, on Facebook. So if you want to join up, there will be links to the Discord and everything like that if you want to be a part of the grid. And then we have the eSeries on a Tuesday, and at the moment we're doing qualifying races for the Australian NASCAR Championships for next year, which will be presented by Motorsports Australia and the Australian NASCAR eSeries. The league has been working very hard on just stepping up the level of competition, stepping up the level of broadcast, and we're just reaping the benefits of it now. Like, I've been in this league for about a year now, and where we've come in that time is just huge. The competition's just not nearly comparable to what it used to be. Like, it's just so much better, so much harder.
That's good to know. Excellent. As the teammates are working around with John, who's trying to break up this party, the 0-3 machine between Angus Lawford Law there and Brandon Griffith. They've still got that head. They could work together, the Toyota duo. In fact, with the Toyota there of John Branshaw, Mr. as he's got on his name on the iRacing. Brad still leading, still holding off Andrew Sharp, who's just been sitting here behind. And I haven't quite seen yet, Aaron, Andrew stick his nose out like a plastic surgeon to get it chopped off. He's comfortable, isn't he? He's just sitting there at the moment. It is actually bringing Matt Danson into play, and we know he's super quick. Matt Danson's starting to catch this three-way party at the moment at a rapid rate. Lap 22 of 128. We have 107 to go. And she said those fuel stops, we're still probably, give or take, another 10 or so laps away from now.
At least 10 laps, but Andrew's going to be in there saving fuel. But now the grid's starting to run, you behind him, he's probably going to start thinking about getting a hurry along. If he's got a bit of speed to burn, I reckon he'll look at putting it, so then they'll put Brad between him and Jason, and then Matt Danson, who tonight has been rapid.
Oh, you can see that at the moment. Some ginger beer too from Brad. That's another thing. That's I miss in Australia that I have now. Many ginger beers. Bundaberg ginger beers, one of the best. Andrew Sharp, let's have a look. And you can, as you can take him on board, and Aaron, you can ride shotgun. We'll ride shotgun with Andrew. Aaron, how was that? You can see the dirty air. It's going to push the car around a little bit, but I think he's fuel saving. What indication can you also let us know too that he is and how he's doing?
He's letting off quite early. He's letting it drift up there a little bit. That drifting up would be that dirty air. A little wiggle of the wheel. Holding it pretty good.
There you have it. You can see almost reaches... not changing gears too often around this track, do you? Stuck in fourth there. Drops it down to... I've changed it over to the metric system for everybody here. Climbs out to the wall. You can see that last little bit. This big calf seems to catch some drivers off before, isn't it? Out of turn 4. A little wiggle and jiggle, and all of a sudden you're buying the fence some flowers.
Yeah, I just saw Brad just got a little bit sideways, a bit oversteering. So you got to watch that, or else you'll just burn up that right rear. Brad's car doesn't look like it's behaving probably as tidy as he'd like it to. So he's got to really look at protecting that right rear, or else Andrew Sharp's just going to be on him in no time.
And to let everybody know out there, what's a fixed setup there or open setup? Oh, and that's Brandon. Oh, hold on to it, Pete. Exactly what I was talking about. Turn 4, isn't it? Got a little loose out of the air there. Good save for the Chooch. Wow, a little heart and throat moment for that 236 machine. That could have been a first caution of the race, but touch wood, it hasn't. But yeah, getting back to that initial question there, Aaron, how was that? Like, is it fixed setups there or open setups, and what can the drivers do and so forth for their machines?
Open setups in this league. A lot of people spend a lot of time. Oh, there's a little wiggle by Andrew Sharp, mid-corner. So we're starting to get into that range of tyres are starting to wear. So now you'll start to find, Andrew Sharp's just gone very high. He just clipped the wall, let the 30 of Matt Danson go through.
Wow. Yeah, and Jason too perhaps will take advantage of this situation. He'll have the power down, the gasoline flat. No, he won't. Andrew will hold on to that position there. But that just brings Matty into play now, isn't it? Now, we know
he's up into second place.
He's quick, isn't he? Yep. He's up 15 places. This man is a monster behind the wheel. He is super, super quick. It'll be to be expected. The man has a 6,000 plus I rating. Now, I know the I rating is one thing, but when you're talking around 6,000 pluses, you're pretty quick. Put it that way.
So riding on board with Andrew Sharp still, it looks to me as he's front right. He's losing his turn into the corner. So he's having to push up high, open up the corner. He's struggling to get down to that low line.
Yeah, you can see
very easy on the throttle.
Yeah, he gets very gingy. You do want to go up close to that fence as much as possible, but you just have the rear slips, isn't it? You'll hit it, and then it could be all she wrote. And he's sticking up to the high line right now, isn't it? Not going down on the inside apron too often.
Running that high line, you can get a good exit. Just get that speed down the straight, get that momentum.
It's quite fun that there is a small grid. It's the playoffs, of course. Here's nothing small about these three cars going for it too for now. 3 abreast. Yes, it's certainly done. As you go, in the middle, 42. Oh, door bangs him. Door bangs Brandon. But still, lives to see another day. Fantastic saving between these drivers. Wow, I don't know if you caught that one.
No, I missed that one, unfortunately.
Oof. Yep, if you got my feed up as well too, so you can kind of get the best of both worlds if you have multiple monitors. But wow, that's some beef, my friend. Definitely got some beef fired up on the barbecue, and here comes Chooch to fight back for this one. So this is the battle around Matthew Raymond, and this is the beef that you're going to see between the 42 at the moment and 2, 3, 6. And it gets a little bit too early to get your elbows out like that.
There's still a long way in this race to go.
That's what I thought, isn't it? 98 laps to go. You don't want to be getting in any fisticuffs. But check it out. Wow. He's getting loose.
Just squeeze him against the wall there.
Yeah. Tell you what, there's Christmas cards exchanged between some of these drivers already. Or not. A good exit on the gasoline. So it's not yielding that one yet. I don't know if I can pronounce the number 42's surname. If you could probably help me out that one.
Number 42.
Yeah, Yuka. Oh, I really can't get that one.
Lachlan Acugio.
Acugio, thank you very much. I'm the biggest butcher of people's names. But these two are going for it too for now, like it's the last lap of the race. Ooh, and getting loose. Yeah. Oh, into the fence. Did he get tagged from Blundell? Not quite sure. Hasn't caused a caution, just severe damage. I mean, I knew it was getting loose at that point. This is kind of why I have the cameras pointing at these drivers, because I know something's going on. He's at the left a little bit. How much damage do you think he has for that 42 car? It's going to have to drop down in a few places like the 929 Stock Exchange, but is it drivable enough? He's going to have to box.
I'll jump on the cockpit and I'll have a look.
Yeah, thank you. As I'll move further up at the moment and keep an eye. He's boxed, yes, he's gone in.
So I believe he's just done that on his own,
Yeah. Well, he hit the fence earlier, my friend, and got probably some steering damage. What was his surname again? Sorry, so I wrote it down so I can pronounce it properly.
Acugio.
Acugio.
Yeah, so we just got a little bit loose off turn 4 there, so we're really coming into the tyre wear now.
Yes. Hope everybody's enjoying themselves at a Friday evening here for the Australian NASCAR series, the eSeries, as we've got E.T. Tariaro, I think, is on the back there of Timo Blundell. Ooh, and they're starting to... Oh, actually, it looks in the back at the moment. Carl almost went into the fence there. Carl Whitley That's, yeah, they're definitely starting to get loosey-goosey. They're on the absolute bubble, aren't they? And those tyres, they're like on marbles at this point. And let's have a look at the track temperature as well, too. At 43 degrees Celsius. What are we local time? Apologies about that one. It is, yeah, just on midday. So it's going to start getting a little bit warmer, too, for the track. It's going to be a matter of who's going to jump first, isn't it? The pit road. It's not a super speedway, so you don't really need your friends to come in with you to get that slipstream. It doesn't, I mean, it doesn't not help, does it, to come in and have a teammate around you, at least, so you can get a bit of a draft together on the track. But it's nothing like Talladega or Daytona or something where you kind of left, you're left for dead, aren't you?
You can definitely make your own speed here.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are starting to come in for the undercut. I can just see Brian Blundell coming into pit now.
Mm-hmm.
So the trick here, get a bit of an undercut, be 1.5, 2 seconds a lap faster, maybe 3 seconds a lap faster than everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then just pull back a lot of the time, but you run the risk of, again, burning out your tyres and getting left at the end of the stint. If you can hold on to your tyres for longer, definitely a huge advantage.
BK Williams out there says, hi, here we go, fellas. And let us know, too, in the chat when you are suspecting some of the other drivers. So what do you guys think that they are leader at the moment, or leaders, per se, can come in? We did see, as you said, some of the other drivers going for a bit of an undercut. The thing is, too, it's like, because it's a short track, relatively short track, there's not a lot of room. You can see the track map that I'm showing you right now. Those dots are everywhere. So if you do come out, you're generally going to have some sort of traffic, especially if you've got some fresh tyres on there and you're going to be lapping, probably half a second, sometimes even a second quicker. You're going to be approaching cars at rapid pace. It will throw you off. You won't be able to do the absolute banker laps in all the time. But then again, this could be a lot more traffic. We could have, I had a race earlier a couple of days ago that had, 43 trucks. And then it's just a matter of finding there's barely no gaps at that point, Mr. Aaron. But here,
so I'm looking at the lap times now. Yes, they're lapping about 2 seconds a lap slower than their fastest laps. So if you come out on fresh tyres now, you can make up a lot of time, but whether you just pay for that later on, if there's a caution now, that really hurts you because you've lost that chance. You might get stuck a lap down.
You called it. I believe it's a situation. It's also, you're on a fine tightrope line, aren't you, as well? Because when those tyres start falling off the cliff, they fall off the cliff. Now, and that just basically what you're doing is also increasing the chance of you and the wall having a tango just like that from Jason. So that's the problem, isn't it? You're pushing it. You're on that fine line. It's like the ice is starting to melt. You're going to fall at some point, perhaps. Just by stretching a little bit further can help you a little bit later. But if you just stretched it one more lap and then you lose it, and you do some damage to your truck and it's in the fence, you're probably going to ask yourself, why didn't I box a lap earlier? That's just the risk you take, 100%. Isn't it?
And a race like this, nearly 130 laps, so I look at breaking it up into 3 parts. So you do 2 tyre stops, so you go into about lap 42, 43, which we're getting close to now. We're on lap 42 now. So for me, I'd start thinking about pitting, and then you're going to pit about lap 90 and do a slightly shorter stint of 38 laps at the end there.
Here comes Carl Whiffy. He has decided, and Marty Mitchell's also decided to come into pit road. So they'll go a lap or so down, no doubt. But once again, what goes around comes around. Now they'll get it back there when the other drivers do go into pit road. Big battle for Jason Holdsworth and Ruben Phelps. For now, still Matty Danson holding on with Brad Newman, who's been leading almost every lap of this race. As you see on your timing tower is the last lap the drivers are doing. You're correct on that one. They're doing 35, late 35s to 36s compared to the start of the race with their best times, at least, they're doing 33s. And it's going to be interesting to keep an eye on that timing tower. Those drivers who have gone into pit road, as John Bradshaw does, but the drivers have gone into pit road before, was the likes of Carl Whiffy, who's come out Keep an eye on those lap times on that scoring table. They'll give you an indication of what times, once they get up to speed, that they're going to be doing comparing to the drivers that are already out on those old boots.
Well, that's the thing, like, John Bradshaw was in a pretty good spot. He's going to start looking at forcing the leaders to pit, because if he's pulling 2.5 seconds a lap faster than them, he'll make up that 10 or so seconds he was behind real quick.
John's exiting the pit road right now. It's all about finding a gap too, isn't it? And which you won't be able to find too much in this track, but you get up onto the power now, come back onto the track. He will be the lead, net leader of the drivers that have taken a pit stop. Alan Dawson started from the pit road, I believe, in P10, but John is legitimate, has taken the pit stop, so he gets out ahead there of Carl Whiffy. And look at the exits, look at the power out, look at the confidence in the tyres. Shouldn't put up a fight too much in 152, and then bingo, John's on his way. Once again, we'll keep an eye on those lap times. Yeah, because
he'll just drive around everyone who comes up in front of him.
Whiffy's last lap at 34.12. Leaders are doing 36s, late 35s, 36s. You can get to see. But how much time are you going to gain on it? And of course, by boxing a little bit too early, they have to then split that strategy later on, as you said. You want to have a 3 pit stop strategy during this race. At best, you don't want to go 4, do you? If it's green flag racing.
I'd look at 2 stop strategy if the fuel allows it.
Right.
So Brad Newman's he's on lap 46 at the moment, so that allows a 2 stopper. And I try and break it up as evenly as possible, so you know each stint. You know what the tyres are going to do towards the end of the stint. You go, all right, I'm going to have this much grip, and then you can race accordingly instead of doing one short stint and then have to do a long stint, which you come into the unknown on, say, 50, 60 lap tyres.
Yep. As Stephen Williams came in like a bat out of hell, as Sharpie has to stop. You spot your braking point into your pit box. You don't want to be reversing it up and making any mistakes. Also, they're quite sure if you have league rules of cutting how many pit boxes as well, too, because some leagues you can only cut 2 of them by entering. I
believe the number is 10.
10. You cut 10 pit stop boxes before you hit your... All right, that's not bad. That's pretty easy there at the moment. Of course, for the drivers, it's a little bit harder because they got to spot their lollipop people. We don't see the lollipop thing. iRacing, can we have that, please, in the future? I've been asking for that for some time, but I want to be able to see. I guess maybe graphically it's too hard, but drivers have a lollipop person, as you know if you've driven. If you haven't, if you're like me and you don't drive, and their pit crew come out too and start changing their tires and all that too. But I can understand the pit crew. I don't really want to show. I don't know if my computer can handle. iRacing can handle like 40 cars with pit crew all coming down at once under cautions. But anyway.
Well, it all depends on how good your computer is, whether you run those graphics or not.
It's a 40 or 90 card, mate, but iRacing doesn't utilize it. They utilize more than other things. So, but yeah, anyway. At least gives the options to turn on and off would be good. Let's see if Brad and Matt, who's caught Brad now, and he's been slowly crawling in. This is because of this traffic. And this traffic sometimes is going to be mixed traffic, as you know, because we're going to have drivers at pit road. They're going to be a lot quicker than our race leaders. Not Brad Wright, who's elected to get out pit road. So that's when you're going to start seeing cars unlapping themselves, because they're perfectly allowed to unlap themselves, so especially when they're going to be lapping about a second to 2 seconds lap quicker than our race leaders. But as you said...
So you got John Bradshaw, he's just making his way past Reuben Phelps now on those new tyres. He'll be on the back of Matt Danton and Brad Newman in no time.
Yeah, he will, won't he? There he is right there on the track. So... And he actually jumped. Did he jump Andrew Sharp? I believe he did, right? Andrew Sharp was in P3, if I'm not mistaken, before those pit stops. Yes, he did.
And that's the power of the undercut.
Power of undercut, yeah, because he boxed back in lap 43. Did John Bradshaw. So I should stop saying box all the time, because I do it even in the US leagues, and they're like, well, what's boxing? What's boxing, Dean? And I'm like, it's pit stops. Oh, you mean he hit the box? All right, okay. Sorry for my bad American accent. Matthew Raymond in as well. So, yeah, let's see how far, who's going to stretch it to the furthest. Let us know in the chat. what the deepest, the last possible lap you think they can go before they're running on vapors. I mean, we know the tyres can go to the end if you can keep it out of the fence. But running on vapors, we don't know. What are they gassed up to? Because usually in race details, they let me know if it's 75% tank or 80% tank or 100% tank.
I believe it's 100% tank.
All right. Look at Brad. You mentioned this, didn't it? He's in by the leaders right now, as you'd expected. They're not going to put up a fight. There's no point in them holding him up because they know that they're going to regain the position. Maybe regain the position. Depends if John's going to pull all these banker laps in and retake it all. Brad Newman in for P2. Locks up. That'll be close.
That was in there pretty hot.
Yeah, it was. That could be a drive-through penalty if you get caught in the speed lane, in the pit lane. So that'll be very, very interesting. I'm going to show you on the timing tower for everybody, rather than these gaps, because the gaps just so confusing at this point. It's more importantly to look at the last time laps, because this is where you can put those bankers in, isn't it? Jason Holtzbrook, look at that, at 35.96. But 34s are more importantly, isn't it, for some of those gladiators? As Matt comes in, race leader. Now, would that be enough? Brad Newman's only exiting the pit road now.
So he won't get the power of the undercut on Matt Danson.
No.
But Jason Holdsworth, he's really banking on a caution right now. But even at a caution, he'll go to the back of the field because everyone can stay out now. Unless they come up, come in for a top up.
Do you think John's got enough here? So here's John. He's coming down the main straightaway now. Matty's exiting the pit road. I think John's got him. John's got him. Yes. Jono has him. What about Sharp? No, Sharp doesn't. Matt should get on the power now. Oh, Sharp could. Yeah, Sharp does too. So that's interesting. So Jono has undercutted everybody. Jason Holdsworth goes in. And we're still expecting Timo Lindell, who's heading in pit road now. So that's everybody getting their pit stops out. And that's Timo doing the last one to do it. And what's lap 56. So you can get 56 out of a whole gas tank. But the man that has undermined them all and undercutted them all, the 0-3 machine, bingo, into the lead in this one. The man from Bathurst, so he knows how to drive.
By a fair margin, too.
Yes, that's a 3.5 second gap. Now, granted, he was one of the first drivers to come in, so he boxed back and he pitted back on lap 43. Sharpie pitted on lap 47. Brad Newman, who was our race leader, just then on 53, the lap or so before. And then Stephen Phillips Williams. But Stephen's on a gaggle of car. This is a three-way fight here, almost legitimate for position with Matt Danson and Ruben. So this is where you're getting... there's no room. You can go 4, gentlemen, but highly not recommended there.
No. Even 3 wide, these circuits get very tight.
Somehow...
So they're early in the tyre stints now, so they've got the grip to do it. You don't want to be doing that late in a stint and someone's moving around a lot more.
I'm gonna have to tell you, so far I'm very, very impressed with the driving of these gladiators in this league, because it's been good. I'll go back up and actually have a look at the Brad Newman challenging Andrew Sharp there, and it looks like it's just completely drove by him like it was nothing. Andrew didn't even put up too much of a fight on that one. Do you think Andrew's happy to sit back on this one? He was before, hasn't he? He's never been the driver that likes to be up front just yet. He likes to sit there and follow somebody, maybe feel safe. For the will be important. Why not, Aaron, the second stop? Because it could be the last stop for the drivers into this race later. Or this could be it.
If we go green... Yeah. No, we can't go to the end from here. Right. If we go green, there'll be one more stop around the 90 lap mark. Depends how far the guys push it. John Bradshaw's had that undercut, but that gap is starting to diminish now, down to 1.7 seconds. And that's just 5 lap older tyres.
Yeah, you think that the tyres make play of a difference that much that soon?
Well, 10-lap newer tyres for Brad Newman.
Yeah.
So,
and is it risky chewing through those tyres so quickly to catch John Bradshaw and take the lead of this race, or should he have been taking care of them so he's got a little bit more on him? But
you dangle that carrot and you can entice him into either making a mistake.
Yeah, true.
So Bradshaw's last lap was at 34.8, where Brad Newman did 34.0, so 0.8 of a second difference.
Yeah, he's catching him drastically as well. As you can see, they've had the one stop. But more importantly, going to show you the pit stop lap in that 43, lap 53. That's your battle for first and your bottom right-hand graphics. There for the Nitro Racing. It's the Australian NASCAR. It's the Australian NASCAR series, truck series here. Lap 100, whatever, halfway through. Lap 68 to go. Now, he's boxed in. So, Brad, not too much he could do here. Yes, he goes, I'll go in the middle, my friend. Don't you worry about that. Go ahead.
And then John got a little bit loose on the high line. I think he just got a little bit worried. Slightly older tyres. Just backed out of it. Smart. Lived to fight another day.
Yep. He probably was going, hey, mastermind strategy as well, too. I don't quite sure if John even expected to be in the lead of this race after that round of pit stops, isn't it? But he certainly is. And he's got a bit of a gap. You can see Sharpie in the background. There's Sharp. There's Andrew. And there's Matt. Remember Matt, the pace that he had? He was in P2 before that round of pit stops. He's back in P4, but he is our biggest gainer at the moment, 13 positions. But apart from Brad, who's gained 10, who's holding on quite well. And it's going to be interesting in that pit stops. If John's going to do the similar thing again too, isn't he? Go in earlier, and then now you got to really have an engineer, don't you? Crunch some numbers on the pit wall, because if you go in earlier, put those banker laps in, and you've only got a few more laps to the end of the race. These other drivers like Brad Newman, Andrew Sharp, and Matt, and so forth, they might not have enough time to catch him. Remember this time around, what you're looking at 1 or 2 laps before they started to catch John? Sorry, yeah. The other way, was the other way around. 100%. John catching them. So yeah, you've got to do your math, mate. You've got to do your math.
The undercut's a fine line. Like, you've seen how much 10 laps of difference makes between Brad Newman and Bradshaw there.
Yep.
Too many Brads. Just 10 laps of tyres different. Drove around him like it was nothing. Pulled out to a 2.6, second lead now. So the biggest loser in the pit stops, I reckon, would be Jason Holdsworth, but he does have the freshest tyres. So he's 8 seconds behind the lead of the race at the moment. So with those fresh tyres, he's coming up to Angus Lawford, who has 18-lap-old tyres versus 9-lap-old tyres.
Oh, and Angus getting a little loosey-goosey out of the corner there too. Manages to hold it, but you mentioned that's crucial, isn't it too? So that's a bit of a fight that's going on the road. But the 3 cars, so Brad's got a massive advantage now, massive. He's built a 4-second gap. Remember, this is oval racing and NASCAR. This is not like Max Verstappen up the road by 4 seconds. That's a lot, especially on a short track like this too. John's under pressure there from Andrew, who's starting to power. Andrew knows he's got a little bit more grip in the corners, so he can take the advantage, go from the inside apron, and trust in the car's going to be able to get the grip he requires when he requires it. John Bradshaw up the road, he's aware of this as well. Bradshaw's got to try to make the car as wide as possible, put up a bit of fight if he can, but no, Brad's floating the fence. Be careful, too, because you get sucked in to that fence when you get close up against it, but he will actually
try to keep the moment on the high line.
Mm-hmm.
So if you watch him out of the corner, if he gets good traction down, he'll at least keep or pull a bit of speed away, but I just don't think he's got the tyres compared to the cars around him.
So you think it was wiser for him to staying up against the high line there rather than risking up the inside apron there because of the fact that he's going to slide the rear end more out?
You turn a little bit less up the top. Just, it can protect the tyres, but it also can hurt you if you drive it the wrong way. See cars, you either drive it on the right front or the right rear, and depending how your setup is and how your driving style is, depends if you like to turn down low, that's going to burn out the right front. If you drive up high, you're going to get a more drive out of the corner, that's going to burn out your right rear. So just in behind Andrew Sharp there, Ruben Phelps just made another...
Yeah. So the Kiwi on the move. Yeah, go ahead, mate. Yep, he's number one.
And Jason Holdsworth, he's down to 7 seconds from the lead of the race now. So he's chipping away. He's not out of it just yet.
Yeah, he's right here, as you mentioned there, because on that alternative... Well, not really on that alternative pit stop. He boxed on lap 55. He's putting some pressure in there. There's the man from Sydney. So getting the job done on John, who's dropping back a little bit, probably starting to feel those tyres falling off a little bit because he did go back in on the pit road at lap 43. There's your information there. Lap 47 for Andrew, lap 51 and lap 55. Obviously, if you are just tuning in, the higher the laps means the fresher tyres you're going to have. That's the last time. You can see the sliding too on John's car, isn't it, on the exit of turn 4.
So he's that 27 lap in. Around the lap 30 to 35 last time, the guys really started to feel the drop off on the tyres.
So I'll be expecting that again because the temperature is 44 degrees Celsius as we're working into about 12:30 local time, about track time. Not local time wherever you are in the world. Certainly not that time here in Australia. It's about Friday night evenings. This is where your hot zone is currently at the moment there, Aaron. So you've got a nice big battle for P3. Also with a lap car in play.
Yep, you just got Carl Withy just dropping a lap down there.
So far, so good. This is fantastic racing. Do we have not had a caution yet, if I'm not mistaken?
We have not yet, and
No.
in the trucks, that can be a little bit rare.
Are you kidding me? So a series that I usually broadcast with the truck series, there's probably, if we'd done 73 laps, there'd be a ton of cautions right now. At least.
It really depends on the night. So the more green flag wraps, obviously the better racing. But some of these guys would be screaming for a caution, especially if you're the first car a lap down. You get the lucky dog.
Yep.
If you're a bit far behind, if you're at the tail end of the lead lap, you'd be screaming for a caution just to get back in that fight.
This is where your strategy's paid off, and also your pace. As Matty, I was going to say qualifying, but it doesn't really matter if Matt Danson does it. He's up 15 places currently running in P2. He's like qualifying. I don't need to worry about qualifying.
If Matt Danson's not up the front, from what I've learnt, he's had a bad day. So
Seriously got some pace, but is he getting enough to crawl in on Brad Newman? Because Brad Newman has been holding on. He's like at the front of this race for the 33 machine. Cool, calm, smooth.
He was
operator.
up to a 4 second lap, a gap there, and it's down to 2 seconds now. But that could be Brad just protecting the tyres a little bit. If he can keep a little bit less temperature in the tyres, keep a bit more tread on it, at the end of this stint, that will pay off massively.
Well, let us know out there in the chat what you're thinking of this race so far. I mean, it is spread out. It's been a strategy race, and some super gladiators out there, some aliens. I think that's it. I think that's what you do with AI level of racing, doesn't it? If you create your own AI race and I rating, it's got like aliens. If you want that level of competition. And some of these drivers certainly are on that level. And that strategy from John Bradshaw still played off. Remember the undercut. He is still hovering around that P6 position for the 03 machine after taking that lead, that pit stop strategy. And that's not bad to gain six places in this race. And if you could do it all over again, if you could time that strategy perfect next time around, he may be able to jump some of the other drivers. But also, it's you can do all your mathematics. You can time everything you possibly can, right, Aaron? But at the end of the day, a late caution or something like that comes out. Throw that up. You can throw that strategy out the door.
Oh, 100% it can. So these guys will be playing their strategy to if there's a caution till the car becomes undrivable and they think they're going to have a spin.
Bit of lonely racing out there for Brad. You can't see anybody at the track there. You can just start to see a couple of drivers who've been putting a lap on. At the moment, currently, our race leader has lapped everybody back down to ET. And that's ET Tario, I think it is there. Another one of our driver from New Zealand. We've got a couple of Kiwis in here, which is great. We've got about 3 or 4 Kiwi drivers on the grid. So, old ET's get the job done. Back in P12, gained 4 places for the 555 machine. He's got a bit of a gap there to Carl Whiffy and Timo Blundell further back on that one. Some fantastic liveries on these machines I'm seeing for the first time. But Matty is a chipping, isn't he, away into Brad's lead? As it looks like there's a spinner up the road there. Can you see that? It's up on the inside apron. Yes, it is. Who was that? Completely getting out of the way.
If they're off the racing surface, they won't bring out the caution.
No, they didn't. They were just off the racing surface, mate. So lucky that they didn't. Although some drivers, as you said, are probably going, please caution, please caution. But not in this case. As we are at lap 80, about to start lap 81. That'll give us about 49 to go. 48. Still plenty of time for drivers to get a move on, but also nursing those tyres. And as you said as well, too, as we expect, we are expecting another round of pit stops. So who's going to jump first out of the block on that one? And that's going to be a crucial pit stop, because if we go through another round of green flag racing, that's it. That's your final opportunity to try to get anything done here on strategy.
My guess would be around the lap 90 is going to be where most of the field comes in. Push these tyres long enough, but also a shorter stint towards the end.
What's ET doing here? Oh, just completely left it off to allow one of the drivers coming through to push another lap on. Yep, good sportsmanship. That's number 11. Allowed Jason to go through there. So that's when it gets a little confusing, of course, if you are tuning in to see who's who, who's where and wow, because there's so many lap cars in play. But good sportsmanship. They don't have to. Now, you don't. It's not like blue flag racing and ovals, road courses where, you'll really be blocking the racing lines and stuff like that, and drivers get absolutely mad if you do block them when you're putting a lap on people. But in oval racing, it's not so much that you have to.
Back to the leader of the race. Yeah, this is on. Matt Danson's making a move on the inside. Doesn't quite have it on the turn in. See if he can keep that momentum up. Got a bit more drive on the exit there. Just closing the gap ever so slightly.
Yeah, is he going to be able to use this lap car as well too? Because they're up at the inside. They both have to go on the inside apron. And the lap car's going up right against the fence, saying, all right, guys, I'm out of your way. Clear right. That's what you spotted be saying at the moment from Matt. But Matty's going to get on the power here. He's going to have a good exit. But as you know, on the high line, it gives you the power, but not into the corner. But the exit corner speed would be good. This is going to be fun between the top two.
That's very tight. Matt Danson's just giving him a bit of side draft, just keeping on that rear quarter, slowing down a little bit. You can see that power on the high line. Brad Newman just pulled a little bit of gap, but then you get that drive into the corner of Matt Danson. Got to be careful he doesn't overdrive it, brake too hard into the corner, and step it out and wash too much up, because then both of them will be out of the race.
Yeah, leaders battling it out here. As we know, Matt's been trying to put this one. Brad does not want to give up this position. Not wanting it heels, not making it easy at all. And that's going to push come to shove too, because you ought to think at the moment, if you are up on the high line, like you can see, the 33s goes close to the fence. If he's going to think about a pit stop anytime soon, well, he can't be. He gets forced into I can't box. If Matty stays on the inside apron like that for a while, side by side, he can also force the 33 to say, I'm sorry, mate, you ain't going anywhere yet. If you want to pit, you're going to have to go around me or you're going to have to lift.
Side by side there, this is fantastic racing.
Nothing that separates these drivers, isn't it? They can put their hand out the window and shake their hands literally at this point. They're so close. And they're allowing themselves, aren't they, mate? Allowing themselves enough space with respectful racing. Door banging, not even door banging racing, just allowing that little bit of just precision drive in between them.
And it looks like Matt Danson's just cleared him now, so he can wash up the track, take a bit of air off the front of Brad. Make it a bit harder for Brad to get the power down, turn in.
What's going to be interesting...
But now the question is...
Yeah. I know what you're going to say, isn't it?
Has Matt Danson, has he used too much of his tyres to catch up? Yeah. He pulled a big gap off there. Is Brad Newman just holding on to the set of tyres for later in the stint to try and pull that bit of time back?
It took quite a bit to catch, and it took quite a bit to overtake. But he eventually got the job done. And Brad can certainly fight back on this one, knowing that pit stops are coming up down the road there. John Bradshaw is under attack there from Stephen Williams, and we kind of expected that. But we are also really expected to see, when is Jono coming in? When's Bradshaw coming in? Because I think soon, isn't it? You'd have to say that he might be coming in soon.
He's done 44 laps on those tyres.
Yes. And his undercut paid off last time, but how far is he going to stretch it this time? And the other drivers have now caught up onto that one, haven't they? They're going, well, we realised what John's undercut had. We had to follow him out of pit road last time, as there's a bit of a slide from Stephen Williams. Clearly, he's struggling at the moment to try to keep up the pace. Angus Lawford blinked for a second. I thought he was heading to pit road, but he wasn't. Ryan Blundell will head down. This is the kind of usual suspects that we saw last time heading down into their final.
So we're getting close to that lap 90 mark.
Yes, that's what you called it. Look at this. Ooh, it might be a little bit closer if some of these cars don't behave themselves a little bit, because we could see a caution, perhaps, or not. I don't want to see a caution. I'd love to see a green flag race to the end on this one. But it does restack them and rebunch them up there for some fantastic racing too. Oh, we just have to see, don't we? Aaron, pleasure to be. Thank you very much for coming to the commentary box as well, too, my friend. Because I don't want to ever be here alone. There's people in the chat aren't chatting to me as well, too. Got to chat, got to get us engaged. Other social butterfly. Stephen Williams we're on board with, and he's going to be on the inside. Oh, that's John. He's going in. John's going in. Oh, hopefully putting in the right direction there, Jono. Wow, I'm not quite sure if he was expected to go in himself. Angus Lawford will go in behind him. But I tell you what, Jono, that was hot. Of the late break is coming to the pit road there, wasn't it?
And that's the chance you got to take. You can make up a lot of time coming into pit lane there.
Here they come as well too. Brad Newman, Jason Holsworth, and Ruben Phelps. They go in, and yeah, you can see them all pushing, isn't it? As you said, like, you can gain a lot of time, I guess, by being lost to late breakers there, but you can also get it all wrong, be facing in the wrong direction. So Matty's going to stay out. Andrew Sharp's going to stay up. This is crucial. If I
was Matt Danson, I'd be pitting this lap.
Here he is.
To just block off that undercut.
I think you're right. I think he looks like he's going to be on the inside apron anyway, so he doesn't want anybody coming down on the inside as he does another lap. Now, I don't think at the moment John's going to get an advantage in this one, isn't he? Because John's back here in P12. He's come back out. Brad Newman is going to be our... Well, at the moment, he's in our race leader for pit stops, at least. He's going to be at full speed now. He's the lap down from Matty. There's Matty up the road.
But Matty still just has to... He still has to pit, so it's still relative.
Yes, it is very... Yeah.
So, like, the difference was only a couple of seconds when
You see him
Brad
in the
Newman
background
come
there.
into pit.
See him in the background there. There's Brad. But Brad's got a bit of traffic up the road to deal with. And this is nasty traffic, as in traffic all over the place, because you just don't know, say on the inside apron, that they're going to be aware of you. That's the 83. He's got a fly on by. Stephen Williams is boxing for P3 currently at the moment. He'll have the exit speed. He can stick to the inside apron here from 33. Bingo, there it is. Guess what? You can see Matt up the road. Because look,
So he'll be
Matt.
pulling seconds off him.
Exactly. And in fact, he won't be the only one. There he is. There's in your picture. There's P1 and P2. But the only difference is there's a pit stop between them. And that's not going to be good,
like,
is it? Look at the speed differences carry out of the corner. Bye-bye. Bye, American Pie.
100%.
Gone. And they were 1 and 2 before the pit stops. Matty's in trouble, isn't he? Matty's in big trouble here.
He'll be 8 to 10 seconds behind after this pit stop. And with not enough tyre advantage to really bring it back.
If
I saw Brad Newman pit behind me, I would have pitted the next lap to just cover off that undercut.
Andrew Sharp has to do the same thing. You are absolutely right. They have to do that because that advantage out of the pit stops was insane, wasn't it? There's just too much speed, too much lap time lost.
And there's not enough laps left now for the real bad drop-off, so...
Yeah, and look at that. Brad's going to put another lap on, actually put a lap. So you have to unlap yourself. Matty will. So he's coming out of the pit road right now. Brad's going to come around and pass him. There's a lap gone. So Matty's now...
He won't be a lap down. No. He'll be...
Oh, he's on the lead lap. Sorry, my apologies. Yeah, but he's going to be a lot of time. And remember, they're on similar tyres now. You only talk about 1 or 2 lap difference in boots, but it does make a difference. He's got to utilise that now, doesn't he? Like the fresh rubber smell that you get out of there. But, yeah, 33 laps. Is it going to be enough? Matt's got speed, so it will be interesting.
He's got speed, but does he have enough speed to now clear the gap?
As John will get maybe ahead of Andrew. So Andrew's dropped back here currently at the moment. The man running in P3 before those pit stops. He's out behind Jono, or he's next to Jono. There's John up the road. So John Bradshaw has bringing it. So that pit stop strategy from the American has not worked out too much, has it? Because Andrew, that was in P3, now has dropped back into P6. His strategy is not at play, but he's going to have a little bit more tyre advantage to some of those drivers up the road, as you mentioned. But this is the man we're going to have our eyes on, isn't it? Does Matty have enough in that 30 machine with about 30 laps to go now to bring it to our race leader? Don't forget, he's got to get past Jason Holdsworth as well, too. He's legitimately in that P2.
So, Jason Holdsworth and Brad Newman pitted 6 laps ago. Matt Danson 2 laps. So 4 laps between them. He's 6 seconds behind the lap lead of the race. He's 2.5 seconds behind Jason's Holdsworth. So they'll pay to just watch that gap, see if he can chip away at it. But did he just wait a little bit too long? A lap or two too long?
Yeah, that'll be the question, actually. I have one for the chat. Do you guys think that? Because once again, we're in interactive broadcasting here for the Truck Series of Homestead, well, the Australian NASCAR eSeries. So we want your opinion on that one. BK out there. What's your thought? Because you're asking questions. Are we thinking this is going to be a 3-stop race? No. At this point, my friend, it's a 2-stopper. And they can certainly go to the end with 30 laps or so to go. But we didn't know that at the start of the race, so that's what was a big question that was being asked. Matty's last lap, mate. He's got to put some bankers in for sure. But we know that Brad Newman can kind of respond to that, can't he? Brad Newman has the control and the pace of this one to go. You can see there's a 6-second gap.
He's chipping about a 10th or so a lap.
It's not going to be enough, is it?
That's not going to be... No. It'll be close.
Yeah, he's got to put in Superman laps here constantly and hope that Brad can't match them. But Brad can... That's the thing. Brad has the advantage of going, okay, I don't have to put in qualifying laps every lap. I'll put good pace in there, but I won't risk it for the biscuit too much. And then if he realizes, if you're doing your math with 10 laps to go, that Matty Danson can possibly catch him, then you start putting these flying lap ins. You dictate the race, don't you? As a race leader, you kind of set the pace.
100%. You're making them either chase you or you're driving away. So at the moment, Matt Danson has to chase him. If he wants a shot at this race lead, he's 5.4 seconds behind. So he pulled nearly 0.6 of a second off in the last 5 laps or so. But I just don't know if it's enough.
It is going to be a very good... I'm enjoying this because I mean, there's not many green flag races that you do get on ovals where you've got to really start crunching the map for you and working out those strategies, because most of the time in the leagues that I've commentated broadcast for, there's cautions, and so at that point, it's not. I mean, it's you're dealing with cautions. They're going to restack them and all that sort of stuff. You know what I'm talking about. The strategy plays don't come into too much, apart from the fact of, is it going to work out better for you or not because of the caution coming out. But in this case,
100%.
So this case, it's going to come down to pure pace with the drivers using the tools and the tyres that they have on their machine. As Andrew gets past John now as well to regain his way back up to P5. He's going to chase down Ruben Phelps for that P4 position there. Matt is still working like mad. I don't know if he's even going to have enough to catch Jason Holdsworth now, who's holding on to that P2 position quite well there from Jason. So remember, he was currently about P3 at the start of this race. So it started, I think, at P4. So he's working his way up, and he's doing a solid job here. But I don't think he's got enough in the tank to catch Brad Newman.
So Matt Danson's still 2.3 seconds behind Jason Holdsworth. So they're slowly chipping away. Matt Danson's 5.1 seconds up from the lead of the race. So he's making time, but he needs to make a little bit more time, a little bit quicker.
Yeah, easier said than done, but you could see him in the background, so he just dispersed of one of the lap cars before, which is easier said than done, but that's not so much because drivers don't have to yield, they just have to be predictable. It's more than anything. It's the same thing when you're a part of multi-class racing series, isn't it? When you've got LMP2s and GT3s and that sort of stuff. And overtaking them, especially endurance races, is not always easy, but it's about being predictable that makes the best way to pass and overtake anybody, even if then...
100%.
Yeah. Now...
This league's always been very respectful.
What's going to happen, my friend? Has there going to be enough? How it's going to pan out here? He's catching P2. You could see
he's now 4.3 seconds off the lead of the race. So either Brad's coasting or Danson's put the hammer down and Holdsworth has put the hammer down too.
Yeah, responding, do you feel, with the radio call, saying Matt Danson is going very, very quick, guys, but not that quick enough that we should be threatened with 22 to go. But yeah, I mean, Jason's the one who should really be feeling the pressure here. I don't think Brad Newman's got to be the pressure just yet. Let's have a look at those last time laps on the timing tower. You can see 34.8, 34.9, 34.5 from this man, Matt Danson.
So that's 3/10 of a second. Like, he might get there at that speed. He's hauling at the moment. He's 4 seconds from Brad Newman now. So Brad's probably eased off a little bit to protect those tyres. So 4 seconds is still a long way back.
Because he knows, doesn't he? He knows he's coming thick and fast. He's had that problem before. Well, we've seen them have a great duo, haven't we? Brad Newman and Matt. I think at the moment Jason's going to hold off like as much as he possibly can because he's got to know that Matt's
I don't know
coming.
if Jason can.
Yeah, I don't know if he can.
Matt's coming with he's going on the inside right now.
And there's only 4 laps difference. No, I think Jason didn't want to fight him. He's going to tuck in behind, isn't he? And that's probably smart from Jason. He goes, okay, clearly if I don't have the pace to beat Matty, I'm going to stay behind Matty and tag along with Matty, get a draft. Because he might know that very much that Brad and Matt's going to fight soon. And what happens when the drivers fight? That'll allow Jason to come back into play. If anything, if the drivers tangle, then Jason can zoom on by and say, thank you very much, I'll take that race win. So clever strategy for the number 11 machine, although I don't think he wants to pick a fight with these two, because he probably might even want to allow Matty to pick the fight with our leader, because it's certainly going to be that stage. Almost 3 seconds at the moment is the gap between P1 and P2. Clearly, Matt's
so
the quickest.
He pulled about 2 seconds off in the last 5 laps, so he is making lap time at the moment.
We'll see if we can see from Brad's rear wing here for the 33 machine. There, that car, you can just see, that is P2. That is Matty, and there's 18 laps. All Brad wants to see is there's another lap gone. He wants to see Barney 18 more times first before anybody else. And he knows he's got this one in the bag. He just doesn't want to see that car in his mirrors, a.k.a. Matt, start to get bigger and bigger and bigger. But then again, you know as a racing driver, isn't it? These are the moments that you love. These are the challenges that you like. Some drivers don't want to win up the road by 5 seconds or 10 seconds. They want to win door to door, wheel to wheel, battling with another driver, because that's more of a sensational win, isn't it?
I don't like being the car being chased. I like to be the chaser. Just, if you're a little bit quicker and you're chasing someone down, Matt Danson, just watching that gap. All right, he's a little bit closer this lap. He's a little bit closer. I'm getting there. And now it's down to 1.8 seconds.
It's all he can do, isn't it? But it's because of that strategy call. That was one of those strategy calls that you were dumbfounded up here as well too, Aaron, going, you've got to come back in, isn't it? You've got to, because when Brad came into that pit stop earlier, you said the undercuts is where it's at. Matty stayed out, and then he had lost a lot of time, and now he's had to fight this one back. So good, got 2 hoots to him. We can get the job done. He's got 16 laps too. Bit of traffic up the road coming to play here that Brad wants to clear as quickly as possible. Traffic goes both ways as well too, so if it does hold up Brad, it will probably maybe hold up Matty as well too, as BK Williams out there says Danson just put it into another level. He has been driving another level. He's got an extra gear in that truck, in the Chevy truck. So we'll see. But there's Brad. Brad's going to get past this car, 136 car, as quickly as possible. Yes, he will. So this is certainly heating up. This is not where you want to lose to take your eyes.
He does not want to be held up right now.
No, he does not. And 136 could get a nice tow from him. And there it is. So, Matty's got to do the same thing now. Matty has to dispose of this lap truck as quickly as possible and not compromise it. Because otherwise, all those lap times have been chipping away are just done and dusted, aren't they, at that point?
100%. And if you got to fight with someone, that will just burn up his tyres. Matt's using a lot of tyre already. He was about 0.7 of a second quicker, 0.6 of a second quicker that last lap. He's using a lot of tyre compared to Brad Newman. Is Brad just taking a little bit easy to have the fight at the end? Maybe you'll let him go, but stick on his bumper and make him work for it, overwork those tyres, overheat them, and see if he can chase him down afterwards.
I think he called it 12 or so to go once they get this lap under wraps. An exciting playoffs round 2 series for the Australian NASCAR Truck Series. And yeah, here it is. This is the battle, P1 and P2 on your screens. The man that's been leading most of the race.
That's 2 car lengths.
And Matty, that Danson, probably one of the quickest trucks on in the series at the moment, putting big pressure on our race leader. Not to mention there's lap traffic up the road is going to be crucial to play. The car's in the middle, the truck's in the middle of the racing there. Matt's sticking his nose in, knowing his tyres are a little bit better. Will it be enough?
Just got a lot better drive off the corner, making a little bit of headway on him. Brad might get held up by the lap traffic. He's on that higher line with the 42 in front. So Matt's cleared him, but there's still that lap traffic. That can go either way.
Wow.
Lap traffic gets out of the way. He doesn't want to be a part of this battle.
Yeah, thankfully as well too. But then again, you also have teammates who can come into play for that one, can't you? Your teammates can certainly make it very, very difficult. But what a drive for Matty. He's come back there out of a pit stop that was all just completely out of whack at the moment there with Brad Newman. And because he's got the fresher tyres by 4 laps, he's managed to catch that big gap to Brad Newman, who'd been leading, and then just eventually get the overtake done. And now he's pulled away at a gap almost by 6/10, 7/10. So unbelievable drive.
100%. I thought it might have been too late, but proved me wrong.
I agree with you, my friend. I honestly did. I thought a similar situation. I thought, no, that's too much of a stretch, isn't it, for even alien-level drivers to do that? But I think we've been proven completely wrong by old Matt Stewart out there. He's just proven that anything is possible. You never just put your head down and say, okay, well, even in that pit stop, when he came out of that pit stop right, he was like, down so many places. He thought, I mean, some drivers would have thought, that's it for me. There's no way I'm going to win this one now. Well, that's not one thing that's going through the number 30 driver is racing helmet right now. He's thought the absolute opposite, and he's gassed it, and he's very much done it. It ain't over yet, of course, with 9 laps to go. It's been a caution-free race, green flag from the start to the end. Well, touch wood in that one. I don't want to jinx it, especially the big drop. Any surprises that you've had? Ruben Phillips there, Sharp dropping back, unfortunately, to P5 for the American driver. Anybody else? What happened to John Bradshaw? With that early pit stop, he's given up 6 positions to P6.
Yeah, he's doing good.
Yeah.
The guys around the top 5, top 10, generally are always very good. Like, you always see Jason up there. Lockie Acugio's normally up there, but he had a bit of a bad run collecting the wall earlier. But like Matt, Brad, Jason, Ruben, Andrew, Stephen Williams, Shane Bowen, Matty Raymond, all those guys are pretty constantly up the front.
Now, could you recap real quickly as well, Mr. Aaron, the drivers are locked in? I think you had a look at that. We don't have the graphic for it, unfortunately. I can show you, but we can at least...
I believe Matt Danson, he won at Iowa last week, so he's the only one currently locked in.
Right, and certainly locked in more than winning this one.
Depends if Brad Newman's done enough to lock himself in on points. I'm not too sure what the point situation is. Would have to check on that post-race. As we just see the number 4 car of Tim Blundell just clip the fence, just running a little bit wide. And there's 3 wide battles with Ruben Phelps, the 77 and the 136.
I love that. What's that on there? Sinkley's food group or something like that? I can't see that. Somebody else has got a little bit of pop for smoke up the cross start finish line here at the Miami Speedway for the playoffs round 2, which is going to look like Matty's going to take the cake on that one. So he's already got the big padlock next to his name anyway for the playoffs, so he should be good to go there. Brad, well, if Brad's best at the moment, it's going to be a P2. That's enough, isn't it? Probably for points, and that's all you can do if you can't get the race win. So good work on that one. And Jason Holdsworth should wrap up the final podium position there for the number 11 machine there for Sydney, getting 1 place as well. So he did a bit of a switcheroo between him and Brad from their qualifying positions with 4 to go, but you have to give it to the man that didn't even set a qualifying time, I don't think. Matty did. At least he certainly down was the bottom of the timesheet with some of those drivers that didn't set a lap. Yeah, I don't know what happened to...
did not.
Sorry, what happened to Chooch? I'm not sure. Griffith, right? Brandon Chooch here. He, I mean, was the only one that had a little bit of a moment earlier. He did a little bit, but he saved it. So he didn't get... He might have got the fence a couple of times, but he certainly didn't get into a serious wreck. The car looks... the truck looks pretty good. But unfortunately, he dropped 15 places down, and he's going to finish in P20. But I like to see drivers finishing the race. I really do, Aaron, because I always think, what else did you have for your Friday night to schedule on these hours from, 7 or 8 p.m. where you are in Australia until nearly 9 p.m. now? That's what you scheduled to do, was racing. So you might as well put the laps in. It is practice.
I believe everyone is still running.
Yeah, and that's absolutely fantastic. As you can see, this is the only dangerous part of the race that I think at the moment, isn't it? Like, your last laps, you're cool, calm and collective. You're like, okay, this is one in the bag. I haven't got any pressure. It's got 3 seconds.
We've got a car There might be a caution here. There's a car on the front straight. Just
Mitchell.
lost it and hit the wall.
Yep, it is Marty Mitchell. Now, he is blowing up. He's blowing up, and that's out of the start-finish line out of turn 4. I think that's the tricky one. He's on the exit of pit road. But with 2 to go.
I think he's low enough. It didn't cause a caution.
He's on the pit lane exit. And I don't think... We don't want to end this one under a caution, gentlemen. I don't know how many green-white checkers we're going to get, but with 2 to go, I think it's just get it done. Let's cross our fingers and then hope we have a white flag. So there it is. So I don't think we're going to get a caution anyway.
Finishes the race.
Yes. So there's Matty, mate. He's got a big smile on his face. I think somebody had a little bit of... Oh, that's the blowing up car of Matty Mitchell. Of course, that's putting out all the steam. But Buddy blowing up some steam at the moment with Matty saying, yeehaw. Got it done here in Miami. He'll be going down to the beach later at the moment. They're hanging out enjoying a race win. He's done it. Matt Jensen.
He got the check flag. And then Brad Newman coming in second, 4 seconds behind, and Jason Holdsworth.
Brilliant drive from the number 30 machine. 16 positions gained. It had to fight his way through there as well. So that was not an easy feat, even with an alternative pit stop strategy towards the end as well. So he still got the job done on those fresh boots. So it'd be interesting to hear. I don't know. Do we do interviews as well too, Aaron, on this network? Because I'd love to hear from the drivers, the top 3 at least, Matty, Brad, and Jason.
Yeah, we'll bring the top 3 into the booth and have a bit of a chat if they jump in.
Yes, too. If you are hearing us, drivers, please do. And certainly celebrate your burnouts there, Matty, because you deserve it. I tell you what, just joining the series, my friend, late for the season, of course, and we've got a few more rounds to go for the playoffs, but if you had to put money on a driver to win the championship, maybe the number 30 machine is your bet to be made. Let's get those results, final results up for our race here this evening there, Aaron.
What a cracking race. To go green for 128 laps, that's just awesome.
If you want to go, and if you want to go through our race results for us, please, mate.
Just a little bit distracted.
It's all right. He's getting sprayed for champagne or something like that down there. He's getting all ready to interview the drivers. It's all right. So Matty, Brad, Matt Danson, Brad Newman, and Jason Holtzville. And Ruben Phillips, Andrew Sharp will drop a couple places for the United States driver, John Bradshaw. We'll get to positions gained there on Black Hawk Motorsports and the pit stop strategy. Stephen Williams and Angus Lawford were 7th and 8th position. Shane Bauman will creep into that P9 position. We don't show cameras too much on Shane Bauman, but good job there as well. Matthew Raymond will be dropping a couple of places to finish in the top 10 anyway. So ET get the job done for 5 positions gained for the Evan, Alan Dawson there, and Carl Whiffy for the British driver will gain 1 place, so to finish in P13. Timel Blundell, not too good for the Blundells. Well, they didn't qualify too much there, isn't it? 17th place there for Timo, and Brian will finish in 17th places. He'll gain 2 with Jason Coley and Akujul, I think it is, Lachlan Akujul. So I'll finally get your name correctly.
Yep.
With Brad Wright as well. And we'll continue over for a few more drivers there. Marty Mitchell, we saw what happened, engine blow up towards the end, but Marty Mitchell will still finish in 19th. Brandon Griffiths, 9 laps down for the Project 36 there. David Lauer, I think he spent a bit of time 12 laps down the pit road, but didn't quite see if he got damaged or something like that. And Aaron, yourself up at the booth with me, my friend, didn't start the race for the Australia-wide racing, but certainly finished it in the booth, that's for sure. Have you managed to gather any of those gladiators we have a bit of a yarn to, my friend?
Yep, we've got Jason Holdsworth, so we'll just bring him in for a bit of a chat.
Thank you.
Good evening, Jason. Congratulations on your 3rd place finish.
Thank you. That was a bit of a tough race. I wasn't expecting it to go green.
No, the strategy really played out. The undercut was pretty strong, but then it can come back to bite you in the end.
Yeah, I went really long on the first one. To be honest, I was actually hoping for a caution because my puck was way too loose in the first run. Then I short stinted the second run, so I could just go flat out and get some track position for the third stint. Worked out well, got back to third place. I believe I fell to fifth before the first pit stop, so I'll take that.
That was a good comeback in the end, and fighting there with Matt Danson. We weren't too sure if he would have enough to pull back, but well, he saved enough tyres at the end to really make the difference.
Yeah, I could see when he was going past me that I had no chance. I think he was 3/10 faster than me. So I was like, I just let him through. There's no point fighting it. And to be honest, it was best that Danton wins this race as well because he won at Iowa last week. So it's not a new person into the championship 4. So it was in my best interest.
Clever strategy. Yeah, exactly, mate. I like how you go, which one out of the two you'd like to win, of course, because that way you won't steal a potential playoff lock away from you.
Yes. Well, Brad's probably almost there on point. Well, probably not actually, but obviously he's going to be favourite to be first in on points. It's going to be close for the other 2 spots. So we'll see what happens next week, next Friday at Martinsville.
And Jason,
Martinsville can be a big what-if kind of thing.
Yeah, and I'm either going to be in 4th or 5th. I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to work out the points. But it's going to be a very close one and a must-watch race next week.
We'll find it and we'll cover it as well, too. We'd like to thank your sponsors. Let us know, obviously, everybody that's on your 11 truck that I'm looking at the moment there, because you've got quite a bit of eye candy on there, mate.
Oh, yeah, my mate Jordan. Follow his TikTok. It's on the side of the truck. I can't remember it off the top of my head.
It's Jordan Martin kind of thing, right? Jordan _ Martin. Yeah, so, we can see the pictures right now.
So Jordan. Obviously Dick Insider. Very sponsored me for last year. And obviously the guys at Nitro. Russ build the set. We made it for a little bit of a cooler track, and the warmer track conditions were a little bit testing, but still got third, so happy with that.
Oh yeah, congratulations on your third place finish. Definitely keeps your playoff run alive.
Yep.
And then,
Thank you.
Good luck with Martinsville next week.
Thank you. I'm going to need it.
No worries, thank you.
Everybody will need it at Martinsville. Yes, Aaron.
Yes, they will.
All right, next one, there was the champagne-soaked gladiators in the booth that we were going to be speaking to this evening.
Yep, we got Matt Danson. I'll just bring him in for a chat now.
Oh, the race went on. All right, it's going to be an interesting chat. Can't wait to have a bit of a chin wagon there. So, Aaron, I think you've got
congratulations,
Matty in
Matt
there,
Danson.
Right? Hello, fellas. How we doing?
We're doing very good, thank you. Congratulations on your win. 2 from 2 now.
Yeah, it was starting to find a bit of form, which is obviously always a good thing. Yeah, it was a really fun race. Obviously, green the whole way. It's pretty awesome drive from everyone as a result. To keep it clean like that. But really put the pressure on trying to make the right calls as far as strategy was concerned, and obviously I knew from the jump that Brad was going to be right up there, and he's going to be the man to beat. And I feel like in that first run I sort of got a little bit excited as I got near to the front. Probably used up my stuff a little bit, and then we were both kind of just neck and neck for the remainder of that first stint, and then obviously we got a little bit of a separation in tyre life through just pitting on different laps, and then it was just a matter of trying to manage it and pace yourself and not get excited like I was saying before, but sort of fortunate to pan out in my favour.
100%. Well, wondering in that second pit stop, he had 4 lap difference in tyres. We weren't too sure if you'd be able to bring it back with that undercut, but you managed to do it. Managed to save the tyres a little bit better than he did.
Yeah, it was because obviously we'd sort of brought it down from a pretty steep gap in that second run, and lucky we got by, got the lead. And I had a feeling that Brad might. I mean, because I was thinking that's probably what I'd do. Sort of pit not long after I got around him, and sort of draw me into the pits as a result. So then I'm sort of looking at the laps remaining. because I've made this mistake a bunch of times of staying out too long. But yeah, I was looking at how many laps remaining. I knew he was going to get a pretty massive lead, with his fresh tyres. And then, yeah, there was a few laps where I was a little bit worried I wasn't going to get there. I was looking at his times. I was thinking, oh, damn, he's really got it going. So, it was a few nervous laps. But then, obviously the pendulum sort of swung in my favour, and then I was able to narrow it down. And, yeah, we had a nice little tussle there for a couple of laps. But obviously, Brad was obviously behind the 8 ball as far as tyre life was concerned, so not really a fair fight. But yeah, like I said, sort of came out on top, so it was cool.
Oh, congratulations on the win. Do you want to give thanks to any sponsors or anything? Give everyone a shout out.
Yeah, of course. We definitely have to. So first things first, of course, Altus Engineering. That's the setup that got the job done. So I run that every X Series, every truck series race, and it's solid as a rock. So obviously jump on VRS, get the Altus pack, and have a go yourself. Shout out my fiance Alex. I've said it a million times, but whenever it's race night, she takes the duties of putting our beautiful boy Oliver to bed. And tonight he definitely wanted me to be reading the books. He was pretty upset when I had to run downstairs. Yeah, so I'm probably in his bad books. But I'm
you
sure
can tell him you had a race win. Daddy got the race win. So
yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, I'll take the virtual trophy up there and in the morning, and he'll be stoked, I'm sure. But he actually does. He loves any time that on my YouTube suggested and whatnot, I comes up with one of these. He loves it. He thinks it's the best thing. He thinks it's real, and I'm not going to tell him otherwise until he's
the way
old
I
enough to realize.
My friend, it looks real, so don't you worry about that. Make sure you show it to him later on and go, look at this. There's Daddy's car right there. Look at it, number 31. Getting the victory done.
Exactly.
Just real quick there, BK out there was saying that Danson just put it into another different level, and you did, my friend, get the race win.
Damn. Hell yeah. No, that's awesome. That's all my shows. Obviously, you guys put this on. I'll definitely give it a watch back and, sit down with a cup of tea and enjoy the battle between Brad and I, and see what else was going on around the field. And shout out to the league and everyone involved, and like I said, the drivers for keeping it clean. Good battles all around, and good fun.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, boys. Cheers.
See ya.
Yeah, what a race. And that was our race winner, of course, that got the permission from the missus, of course, and even his son. Should be proud of him later on. Got to read him a good bedtime story about how that racing car went round and round and round and round and one and one and one and one. That's what I would say. If there is a racing car story, there is, Aaron. Do we have Brad Newman at all? Or are we done a dust?
No, I don't believe we do.
All right.
So that's a wrap up on the playoff round 2, race 2. So big congratulations to Matt Danson, putting another win together, really locking in, being the championship favourite.
He will, my friend, and as you'd mentioned, we're off to the short track at Martinsville. Yes, exactly. So there's going to be 190 big ones around there. Imagine doing that track as well to a green flag race. It's a possibility, isn't it? And it's one for everybody else to be tuning into next week.
Look, if I was a betting man, I would not bet on that one.
If I was betting, man, I would have said like Homestead, Miami, a green flag all the way through. Not a single caution. You didn't get to see the caution graphics that I made, but no, we didn't have any. So I would be a betting man. I would have lost that one too. But there you have it.
I believe you'll get to whip them out next week.
All right, I don't know if you'll be joining me next week too, Aaron, but I hope so, because it's been absolutely fantastic sharing the booth with you and helping with your expertise in this fantastic league. I'm excited. This is going to be fun. Can't wait till next season.
No worries. I'll see how my plans plan out. I'll be happy to jump back in the booth again.
Excellent. So that's it. Well, I think we'll have to call it a night too. It's got X Series, I believe, during the week too on Tuesdays. So when you're Friday, if you haven't had enough of a weekend, or you will have to have a weekend break in order to then fire it up there for Tuesdays, and then come all the way back here for Friday next week. As you can see, Matty's going to be around and around and around doing burnouts because he's locked himself into the playoffs for sure, doesn't he? And certainly will be one of the contenders. Over to you, Aaron, for the final words.
Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. It's been a pleasure being in the booth, and look forward to next week.